Drivetime Radio with New York Vinnie.
On this week's edition of Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? What about the show?
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
We'll have a little fun. It is a fun day here out at the...
You're listening to Drivetime Radio.
Remember, just plug in. I'm ready.
Okay, we can't leave you with just a plug-in. We got to hit you with some engine noise as well. Good afternoon. I'm New York Vinnie. This is Drivetime Radio coming to you a little bit late today, and I apologize for that, first of all. I try to be on time on the weekend shows. I know the weekday, Michael and I always have a little trouble, but the weekday shows, we really try to get it happening at 11 o'clock. Unfortunately, we're having some problems with the system that we use to put this thing on the air. And so we finally got it working, finally got it going. And so we are, as far as we know, on the air and reaching you. And we appreciate you waiting around for us if that's what you're doing. Or if you're not, just the fact that you're just came upon us or saw our post on one of the various social media outlets and saw that, yes, you could just point, shoot, and click. And you will go right to our YouTube channel where you can like and subscribe our channel, which we please encourage you to do. As a matter of fact, for the next few weeks, matter of fact, I think if everything works out right, we'll be able to do this from the period between July Memorial Day, which will be next weekend, and July 4th weekend, whichever weekend that particular day falls on. But we're going to try to increase our listenership some. So we'll be running a little contest. This is not even really going to be a contest because it's going to be the contest that you've always wanted because you'll be able to win something. Nobody will go home from this contest saying, I didn't win anything. Everybody that participates in this contest will win something. So we're going to do that starting next week. So make sure that you're listening and watching our social media channels, especially our YouTube channel, because that's where a lot of the action is going to happen as far as things that you're going to see. So make sure you're watching our YouTube channel. Make sure you're watching our different social media channels. You'll see stuff on there, whether they be clues or videos or something that will allow you to very simply win a contest. So if you're one of those people who've gone through your entire life saying, I've never won anything, well, guess what? You'll never be able to say that after I get finished with you. We'll find a place for you to win. We'll find your happy spot, and we'll massage it for you, okay? That's because that's what we're all about, massaging happy spots here on Drivetime Radio. And television. I mean, we call it Drivetime Radio because I'm an old radio guy. I do the show really as if it were an old radio show that we just try to the object here is to get some information, get some fun, in your life, and give you a place on Saturday morning to go for an hour and hang out with a friend, just like we did many years ago when I was coming up and I was explaining this. I think I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, that we want to recreate with this show a little bit of that feeling of hanging out at the street corner, hanging out, with friends, hanging out in a place where you were part of a community. And we really want to recreate that. There's certain people that do that on the internet and do it so well. Well, I want to be one of those people. You know, I want to, he'll get a kick out of this. I want to become the Ray Shefska of, of car shows. Any of you who know Ray or watch Ray Shefska and his show with his son know who I'm talking about. And, I've always, and naturally I've been doing this a lot more years than Ray has, but Ray's gotten pretty good at it in the time that he's been doing it. He gets it. He gets that a lot of this is just being you and having you as the audience accept you for who you are, faults and, baldness and whatever, however you are. You just get people to accept you, to hang out with you. You want to be a guy that people will feel comfortable hanging out with. And that's what I hope I do here on Saturday morning. Give you a place to feel comfortable hanging out. Our show is brought to you every week by my good friend George Jackson. George Jackson Promotions. Where would I be without George Jackson and his just a steadfast commitment to this radio show and to me being somewhere where you can hear me on Saturday mornings? I don't think that, to be honest with you, that George's business depends on whether he subscribes to this show, whether he advertises on this show or not. He's a good guy with a good heart. He's got a good product that he sells. He believes in service. He believes in making sure that you get what you need when you need it. And so he and I agree on that premise. And although we're both not always perfect at it, we certainly try to do it and try to do it well. So if you need business specialties, business advertising items, if you need calendars, if you need grand opening flags, whatever you need that can put you in a place where you will have grand opening flags or some kind of promotion, George can help you with it. George can get them for you at a good price, get them delivered to your place. Geez, if you're in the Pittsburgh area, George will probably come out and help you hang the damn. Well, no, I don't want to put George on a ladder, okay? Let's not do that. But George, the kind of guy to be out there helping you. Size them things up and put them on. So if you want to get in touch with George, it's gjpromo.com. Go to the Facebook page, GJ Promo. Go to his, Google him, George Jackson Promotions. Go to his page, ask him what he suggests for boop, 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 and he'll send you a note back with what he suggests that you do for boop, 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 and boop, to get more people into your business, to get more people to appreciate what you're doing, and to get people to help form this community, this online community, where we all can help each other around cars. We all love cars, and we all like to talk about our cars. We all like to communicate with each other through our cars. So we get a chance to communicate each week with George. George keeps this show on the air, and I am eternally grateful to have a friend like George. As a matter of fact, forget about the idea of even just somebody who is, I'm eternally grateful because of the money he gives to the show, the advertising that he buys on the show. He's just a good guy. He's a good, solid guy. And he's one of those people that I used to tell people about from the West Coast, that these are the kind of people that you run into on the East Coast. These people that have your back, these people that are your friends, these people that come together with you and help you out of situations, no questions asked. I can't tell you that how many times when I moved to Pittsburgh, I ran into George and these kinds of people. Uh, all through just hanging out at a coffee shop every morning. Me picking up my coffee every morning. Go in there, into the coffee tree. It'd be George and Lee and Dave. And I always want to call him the minister. He's not the minister. He's not a minister in a traditional sense. He's my Jewish pal. He's my brother. He's my Jewish brother that died years ago, reincarnated. Al, who is just he is the true meaning of a mensch. All of these people get together. We'd have coffee. We'd talk to each other. We didn't always agree on things. We didn't always, but everybody helped everybody else out in any way that they could. And we had a lot of laughs together and a lot of people that truly cared for each other because there's no age requirement on caring for somebody else. You can be 50 years old and care for somebody. You can be 100 years old and care for somebody. Anyway, I'm getting off on it, so I don't want to get too far off on a tangent here. But George and everybody in that group from Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh, thank you for continuing to support the show. And for my friends in Seattle, thank you for continuing to support the show. You'll never know how much it's appreciated by me, certainly by my family, because they'd be having to live with me if this didn't happen. And that's I don't think that could be a pleasant experience. But I really, I think that you get it. You know what I'm talking about. Is that it keeps me from going nuts, and it's a stunning. Some days that I get up and I just I thank God for all of the support that I get from people of all different kinds. The most importantly, I always think being the friendship and the ability to help somebody, the ability to reach out a hand. And if you have a chance to do that, to help somebody, to reach out a hand, well, you know what? That's a pretty good thing to have in your pocket, is the ability to do that and the willingness to do it. So, all right, got a bunch of things going on this morning. Couple of the things that I found to be quite interesting is the buzz around the president of the United States trip last week to China. His trip to China has people in the automotive business buzzing and talking. Now, I heard some people and saw some things this week that, this is going to end the difficulty that the United States government has made for China in bringing cars that are made in China into the United States. It's no secret that the Chinese are way ahead of us in many facets of electric cars, both in technology and in advancement of their labor force. Just like they got ahead of us in sneakers in Vietnam. I mean, they have a different system over there, and it works well for them, to say the least. So that's what many people are saying is we're going to see next in sneakers. I mean, in electric cars, that the Chinese with all these different companies and their need to expand their markets because they just they are not able to get everybody into an electric car in China. So they got to look to other places. And their cars are good. And there are many people in the United States that are saying, and many of them people in the automotive business that are saying that when they hit the shores of the United States with the full force and effect of their method of building cars and their method and ability of electrification of automobiles, that we're going to be sunk in this country. And I don't know. I didn't get so far into President Trump's trip that I'm able to say that it's going to be a situation where the Chinese are going to be opening showrooms tomorrow on Main Street. But I do think that the Chinese cars are coming. And I think that from what I have seen in the softening of relationships between the United States and China, is going to be here sooner rather than later. That within 10 years, you will see Chinese manufacturers either in partnership with American manufacturers or some way, somehow, selling vehicles at retail in the United States. It's not a far-fetched idea, and it's not something. The only thing that's holding back now is Congress. They haven't paid off Congress the right way yet, or enough, or whatever it is that they haven't come up with. But it's coming. They know how to play the game. They know what they got to do. So it will be very, very, very interesting to see how this shakes out over the next few months, year or so. But keep an eye on it, because I think it's gone. They haven't sorted everything out yet, but this is coming. And I think it's only a matter of time until you see the BYDs and the Cherries and all of these other different brands of Chinese electrified vehicles. It won't be an oddity anymore. It'll be a regular occurrence. What will that mean for the American automobile industry? Well, I don't think it's going to be good, my friends. I don't think you got the juice to protect the automotive industry the way you used to have. I think you're going to fight a battle with the United States unions, that you are going to fight a battle with all of the different elements that go into play to protect the United States automobile manufacturers, but also allow to keep some kind of peace with China and keep China happy and keep the people that have to serve that master okay. So that everybody can be. I don't think everybody's going to be able to be happy, to be honest with you. I just don't think everybody is going to be able to be happy, because it's a complicated situation, and it's not going to get easy anytime soon. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you. You listen here every week, and believe you me, we'll let you know everything we know about it and how that landscape is going to change. But as I say, I think that in a not too distant future, you will see a lot of Chinese vehicles on the streets in the United States of America. It's coming. It's just a matter of how long. So, and as I've said, these cars, I mean, it's not such a bad thing if you want to pull the trigger on buying one. It's not a bad thing. It's not a thing where you go and you say, geez, these cars are horrible. These cars aren't going to work for people. These cars are pieces of crap. There's some pretty good cars that they're building. BYD, build your dreams. BYD, build that car and get out there with it. And hopefully it'll mean jobs for the United States. Be interesting, again, to follow it and see if it improves our lot as a nation that needs jobs. And as a nation that, you know, is going to have a lot of hungry mouths to feed, because the landscape at the same time is going to be changing for people. Those old assembly line type of union jobs are going away at a time when we need them to be here. So something to keep an eye on, and something to really quickly well, I just saw my friend Kirby Arnold, who is out at Indianapolis, as he does every year. You know, it'd be nice to get him, see if we can get him on next week to talk about Indianapolis and to find out what's going on out there. I got to admit, I have not followed it as much this year as I have in years gone by due to some situations that's coming up in my life. But I'd love to get Kirby on actually next week and get caught up on what's going on in the Indianapolis 500. It's always a great day. Race day is always a great day. And Kirby is always a great guy to describe it, because he does it in such good everyman terms. He doesn't get too far into it, and he doesn't get rah-rah on people. He tells you what's going on. You can't beat that. Or at least I don't think. You know. What else is going on? You know, the federal government prices obviously have gone up again. I think, I'm afraid to even look to see what gas has gone up. Probably not as much this past week as it has in the last few weeks, but gas you could bet has risen in our in the different surveys that we look at. Gas Buddy and so on and so forth. Gas Buddy is the one that I use mostly. They seem to be most reliable. Gas Buddy and the AAA people seem to have the best handles on what's happening with gas prices. So let's jump into Washington quickly and take a look at the gas stations and the cheap fuel prices in Washington. If you happen to be driving through Clarkston, Washington, out there on the east side of the state, they report the lowest price in the state of Washington for regular fuel, $4.54 a gallon for regular at the Costco on 5th Street in Clarkston, Washington. So if you need to get a tank of gas and you're out in that area and you want to later this afternoon go over to Clarkston, fill up your tank it'll cost you $4.54 a gallon. I don't think that that's going to come down anytime soon. A little closer, if you're in Toppenish, 480. Mabton, where the hoof and mouth disease reigns. I believe that Wheeler's Smoke and Gas is at 488. Pretty cheap prices if you're heading north. Samcor Fuel on Smales Run Drive in Anacortes is $4.92 a gallon. The casino up there on the way over to on 20, the casino that runs over to get over to Whidbey Island, the road I should say that passes the Swinomish Casino goes over to Whidbey Island. $4.99 at the Swinomish Markets at the casino on Casino Drive in Anacortes. Front Street in La Conner, also $4.99 a pop. $4.99 a gallon, according to data feed. And those were just tracked about 10 hours ago. Both of those locations at $4.99 a gallon. It's about the cheapest you're going to see it. Everything else in the state of Washington is above the $5 mark. With the Arco in Ferndale, $5.09 a gallon. That was taken 7 hours ago, and that has to be a cash purchase. From what my information says, things are subject always to change. But if you're heading up north to the border, you're heading up to Vancouver for some reason, if you're passing Ferndale, it doesn't hurt you to get off the highway and go check out downtown Ferndale, grab yourself a sandwich and a tank of gas at $5.09 a gallon. As I said, 7 hours ago for that. So that's what it is. Let me just quickly look at California as well. I love looking at because it just makes me just gets you cheapest prices that I can find in California right now. By the way, can I just say how happy I am to see Sinclair back as a viable gas station in the United States of America. There was a ton of Sinclair stations that closed down in the 60s when I was a kid. And I had such I grew up in the gas station business, but I had such great memories of Sinclair and the little plastic dinosaurs that we used to get at the World's Fair. And I don't think they're giving out dinosaurs anymore, but you can get gas at $5.19 a gallon in Rosemead, California. $5.19 a gallon in Lemoore, California, which is, I believe, right off I-5. And in Farmersville, California, $5.25 a gallon. Bakersfield, $5.25 a gallon. Where else? There was another good one here. Oh yeah, the Stockdale Highway in Bakersfield, $5.35 a gallon. So the prices are holding steady. I quickly want to take a buzz over to San Francisco County because this can really twist your twist you up a little bit. But if you are, I know exactly where this station is too. The Speedway that's on Cesar Chavez Street. And as far as I know, they're still calling it that. But it's for anybody who knows San Francisco knows that this is Army Street. 3300 Cesar Chavez Street. It switched off of Army Street many years ago, and now they're in the process of switching it off of Cesar Chavez Street. There you can buy your petroleum regular product at $5.89 a gallon. 19th Avenue at right on 19th Avenue between Ocean Avenue and one of the other gas stations, one of the other streets, Ocean and I forget where, but in the southern part of 19th Avenue, headed towards Serramonte, $5.99 a gallon. The 76th, it's on Divisadero and fell, I think it is, $6 a gallon. I told you $7 a gallon by 4th of July. Well, it's close. So that's what you're facing right now in gasoline prospects in California, in San Francisco. One more quick check before we switch subjects. My beautiful sister lives in San Mateo County. And I just always have to just check it out. I got to see what the gas is by her house. As a matter of fact, I think the gas station that is by her house comes up here as consistently one of the cheaper gas stations. We got the, I don't know how anybody drives in San Francisco or San Mateo County. San Mateo County on El Camino in Millbrae, it's $5.79 a gallon. $5.69 at the Exxon on Hillside in Daly City. And the Marathon on Westboro, right by Serramonte Center, $5.75 as of 15 hours ago. The Costco on Airport Boulevard, $5.69. $5.59 in Burlingame at 1100 Broadway. So that's the prices that you're looking at down there. So you're close to $6 a gallon, if not over, in a couple of different places. So that's the gas situation right now. If you're traveling across the country, if you're getting ready to go on a vacation, plan out because you don't want to get hit by different prices than you think are going to be out there. And there's just not a lot of places in this country right now where gasoline is under $4.60 a gallon. According to Gas Buddy, they've saved $3.1 billion for the people that look at this website over the past few months. And, I just wanted to, I just want to see in Vancouver quickly. What do we have here? Petro-Canada. Petro-Canada is always one of my favorites. Canadian Tire in Vernon, BC, $1.79. And I don't have in front of me what the conversion rate and everything is. So your best bet is to get on Gas Buddy yourself and take a look at it. But there's a consistency to the prices. They're all high. They're all ridiculous. And they're all not going down any quicker. If you're over on Victoria, Chevron in Brentwood Bay, or actually Chevron in Victoria, BC, is $2.15 in Victoria. So that is Yeah, it's to try to figure that out. I don't have to. I don't think it's that interesting radio to sit here and try to do math. But if you need to know that, if you're one of those people that are traveling to Canada, we can bring somebody in to sit here and do math with me because I'm certainly not good at it. I'm not going to be your math. But the obvious thing is that the gas prices are still too high. They're still not going down. There's still an uncertainty to gas prices is that we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the president is going to do. We don't know if he's going to get pissed off at something tonight at midnight, something he doesn't like on Saturday Night Live or something like that. And is going to wind up looking at Saturday Night Live and not liking something that Colin Jost said on Weekend Update and bomb some country into submission, and all of a sudden the price will be up another 50 cents and he can do it. Another thing that not a lot of people are talking about in the media, and I find very interesting, is around gasoline prices, is what is going on with Cuba. Cuba's out of gas. Cuba, there's no gasoline in Cuba. If you are driving a car in Cuba, you are screwed because the prices are way over the top. There's no kind of relief in sight down there. They're not going to get money, any kind of relief soon. And the president of the United States is saying that he can go in and take over Cuba anytime he wants. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The last thing that I want to see, and not because they're stronger than us, not because they're power or this or that or the other thing. I just think these people have been through enough. And we just don't need to be the country that puts more pressure on the Cuban people. They're already enduring unbelievable hardships. So that situation just doesn't seem to be getting any better. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse. It is worse, and the people that live in Cuba don't see any relief at the end of the tunnel. All they see is a big bright light coming at them. So hopefully they will get that straightened out without a war, without mass casualties. I would be not a happy person if we decided that we were going to go and start bombing the crap out of Cuba, taking over Cuba, whatever oil refineries it does have over there, whatever processing plants, and I think it's all external. So, but that's something that you're going to see as this bloodlust to go take over countries. They indicted Raul Castro this week, which is a step in wanting to bring him to the United States to serve justice, to have justice served. And I don't know what they expect to do with a 94-year-old guy. So that's another thing to watch. Now you say, well, Vinny, you're telling me all of this geopolitical stuff. What the hell does it mean to me? Well, ultimately, the tariffs and this and that and the other thing all mean that you're going to pay more for your gasoline to take your collector car out. You're going to pay more for your older car if you decide that you want to keep your older car. You're going to pay more money if you want to take your family on a vacation by automotive trip. If you want to put the kids in the car and travel to Yellowstone. If you want to take a trip and say, well, we're going to go somewhere this summer. We don't know where yet. We don't know what we can afford, but we're going to try to take you somewhere. Like when I was a kid, Dad would paddle us into the car and let's go to Pennsylvania Dutch country. Let's do that. Let's spend a few days, go out there, just spend a couple of nights at a hotel with the family, and we go out and have some shoe fly pie and whatever the heck it was that they were serving up at those places this week, and you get a good meal and some good old family fighting for the window seat, and you keep going. Go to some car museum that was out there, or Hersheyland, but this whole concept of a summer vacation with the family in a camper, or towing a trailer, or doing different things that you normally do is once again disappearing. Once again, that whole idea is out the window. So that's why I bring it up, because I remember how good it felt, and how it how we used to get together and go on these vacations, and how, even though maybe we didn't agree with our parents on this and that and the other thing, and a war and this and that, we took that week or two and we all got along. We all got a chance to spend time with each other. Being a family. And I talked to my sister, I talked to people in my family, and I still remember those times, and how even though they were so long ago and so different, that they were still these beautiful times. And I see how my brother takes his kids on vacations like this. And it does me, my heart good to think that maybe that our families are still out doing that kind of stuff. So that's something that, again, I think that people need to as a car show, we try to bring you things that are going to be as of interest. And unfortunately, the big news in the automotive world these days is the fact that the prices of stuff have the car world kind of screwed up in many ways, but not so screwed up that you can't participate in it. Not so screwed up that you can't get your car on a Saturday or a Sunday and go down to a Cars and Coffee and take your kid down there, or your nephew, or your godson, or whatever different relationship that you have with a relative, and take them down and walk around and look at some of the cars that are out there, and how some of these people have done an incredible job at restoring cars, at bringing back the ability to hang out with people. So it's definitely something to, it doesn't cost a lot of money. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any Cars and Coffee that cost anything. I mean, maybe you wind up going for some. Matter of fact, this shirt that I'm wearing, the Z Club shirt from Northern California, I got Labor Day this year. The Z Club in Northern California put on a show, and my brother-in-law has a really beautiful 510 Datsun, and he took it down to this show. I probably paid an entry fee to get in, entry fee. But he won probably as many prizes as you could win. And again, it was just a nice thing to go down and hang out with my sister, hang out with him, hang out with other people, talk about cars, and have those few moments where we weren't worried about a lot of other stuff, and we were just worried about how to get more exhaust volume into the exhaust pipes of the Nissan, of the Datsun, I should say, or how to treat a floor pan so it doesn't rust. You know, it was simple stuff, and it takes you back to a different time when you were a different human being. So to me, that was a really beautiful thing. And these events, all you got to do is go on Facebook. They're all over the place. I really suggest you go out there and you learn something about some of these events and just go and enjoy the car culture that's out there. There's just some really spectacular car culture happening right now. And just think that it's something that it is I don't know, it's it should be a fun thing for people to bring people together. It's no different than going to a baseball game, except you don't have to pay $50 to park there like you do at a baseball game. So now, what am I looking at here? I'm always leery when I see some of this stuff posted on Facebook. Uh, there's a guy with a post on Facebook that's saying, "Oh, I'll do more of this," but it seems that and I don't. This sounds like a bunch of hooey to me, but I'll have to check it out. It says that Senate Bill 626, aimless driving is prohibited. Violators may face a $1,000 fine if caught driving without a destination. Well, that's, you know what? I'll almost bet you that that's some idiot that wants to get people riled up, so they thought it'd be a good idea to do this. And it's, I don't know. I got to read more into it, but it just looks like somebody's stupid attempt to make you think that the governor signed a bill that says you can't drive your car when you want. Of course, there'll be 200 comments from people who are weak-minded and won't even bother to check it out. They'll just rag on the governor. It just sounds like how can the country, how can the police department tell you where you can be driving your car? Now, I can understand if there's an emergency and they have to restrict access to a road, but it sounds pretty stupid. But we'll check it out further and kind of get an idea of what it is. It's one of those things that I looked at and I said to myself, I wanted to shake the tree a little bit here and see if anybody had seen anything about it. But it just looks it just looks like somebody with they got their hands on their friend's Canva account and decided to write something and get people pissed off just because they could troll people or break people's balls. So stay aware of that. All right, what else did I want to? Okay, got a chance to moving into this to the kind of the latter part of the show here. Got a chance week before last to spend some time with my fellow NAWAPA members. I am a proud member of NAWAPA, Northwest Automotive Press Association. It's a group of individuals who are involved in the media in this and in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, BC, some in Scissors, California, and we band together to try to make sure that the things that we write and print are informed, are smart, are have value to them. The things that we print, our shows and art, that have value to it, and that there's truth to it. And we lobby and we try to stick up for the car owner in the Northwest. We try to make sure that you get value for, for what you read from us. It's a great group of people. Every year we hold an event called Mudfest. And we try to pick out, in essence, the best vehicles in the Northwest for the different things that people might use their cars for. Now, it's easy to look at an event and say, well, everybody gets their vehicle and they go off-road with it, but we all know that that's not what happens. You're going to go out and you're going to spend $70,000 for a VW Scout, and are you going to take it off the road? Are you going to take it into the woods? Are you going to take it fording streams? That seems to be the latest thing. How can a vehicle ford a stream? But people seem to want to have that information. So we test these vehicles. We take them up hills and down dirt and around tracks and through dust and around all sorts of situations, and try to come up with the best vehicles to fit the Northwest lifestyle. I forget exactly how long this has been going on, but I've been doing it for years and years and years. I think this was my 25th Mudfest. So 25 years that I've been involved, and actually I was involved before that. I just didn't attend them as much. But the different results for this is out. I want to say thank you. I wanted to make sure that we get these results out once again. Wanted to make sure I said thank you to the people that labor so hard to put this event together over 2 days down in Shelton at the track down there, the Ridge Motorsports Park, and the Alderwood Resort, a place that does a wonderful job. We've been down there a bunch of years. And it's also a chance for us as automotive journalists, people in the know, people who try to get information out there about vehicles, to learn what's going on and what's fact and what's fiction. Uncle Charlie that prints that crap on his Facebook page, he doesn't do that. He takes something that he saw on some article that somebody else put up there, and he reprints it. But he doesn't take the time to research it and go through it and what's fact and what's fiction and what will affect you. Our members, our people do. You got guys and women who write for some of the top publications in the nation. Tom Volk, who appears on this show many times throughout the year. Tom Volk writes for the New York Times. He writes for his own website, Driven, his own feature that he does on YouTube, his YouTube channel. He does a bunch of stuff. And he's out there and he's doing this so that you can be better informed if you're going to buy an SUV. John Vincent, U.S. News and World Report, one of the premier magazines in this country for rating vehicles and how they are used, how they are applied, how they are built, if they are worth buying and spending 70 or 80 or 90 or $100,000 for a vehicle that's been in production for 2 years. Or do you need to wait a while? The the work that goes into this stuff is incredible. And different car companies now seek us out to get opinions about cars. So this event is as important for the manufacturers as it is for us to be able to talk to the manufacturers, to be able to have people. In a few minutes, we're going to speak to somebody who is impressed me so much, is a person, is a woman, and this is let's face it, this is a male-dominated field, automotive design. But this is a woman who is a lead designer on the Scout, the VW Scout, which is the rebirth, the reincarnation of the International Scout of the 60s and 70s. It was one of the finest off-road vehicles that has been ever been printed. And we'll spend some time talking to Peyton Sullivan, who is just one of the up-and-coming talents in the business. If you want to know what you can aspire for your daughter to do around cars, you can look at Peyton and you can say, boy, I hope she looks at this and loves this and decides to maybe get involved with cars. Maybe not as her job, but just as somebody who's interested in something that her dad or her mom was interested in. There's a bunch of people like that. Anyway, so Mudfest 2026, several categories. Every category had a winner, obviously. Let me run them down for you. The overall Northwest Outdoor Activity Vehicle of the Year Grand Prize winner. This is the vehicle that is most suited to the Northwest lifestyle. It isn't the one that will take you off the road the furthest. It isn't the one that you can take through any woods or anything like that, or any forest, and feel comfortable in. It's what makes the most sense for you, in our opinion, to go out and buy if you want something that has a little action, a little rock and roll, a little country, a lot of pulling power, a little bit of speed, and it says, I live in the Northwest. And I was very happy to see that Subaru, once again, is in the top spot of the Northwest Outdoor Activity Vehicle of the Year. Subaru is, I don't know that any vehicle says Northwest as much as Subaru. And the Subaru Trail Seeker Limited, I will be driving one of these for a week, I think coming up in about 3 weeks, is a car that says Northwest. It is electric. It is off-road capable, very off-road capable. It is well designed. It is comfortable to drive. It's a car that if a bunch of people from the Northwest went to the Subaru factory in Indiana and said, let's build a car, this would be the end result. The 2026 Subaru Trail Seeker Limited is the Outdoor Activity Vehicle of the Year. for 2026. Again, beautiful job done by the writers, the people that helped put the event on, Page One and Drive Shop. Oddly enough, we have a person named Erin and a person named Aaron that run these two companies locally and do such a great job working with the media here in town so that we can get the information out to you. Did a great job. Some of the other categories this year, the two-row family SUV was the 2026 Subaru Trailseeker. It's a two-row SUV. Do you really need a three-row SUV? Electric SUV? Many people in our thinking, in our organization's thinking this year said 2 rows can get it for you. But if you do need a 3-row family SUV, the 2026 Kia Telluride X-Pro SX Prestige all-wheel drive vehicle is enough for you to get the effect. If you want luxury, and I was so happy to see that Lucid took the time to enter their SUV into the competition this year. They have an SUV that's $120,000. It's not a cheap car, but it's a good car. I spent some time in it, and I will tell you that it's a good car. Fun car to drive. Fun car that goes over hill and over dale, and it absorbs the bumps. I don't know that I would buy one for $120,000 and run it through some of the stuff that people ran the Lucid Gravity through. Also, 2 vehicles. The electrified category was won by the Subaru Trailseeker again. A vehicle that people just it's named correctly, the Trailseeker. And that one for electrified activity vehicle, extreme capability vehicle. This is one that you can get in and say, I'll see you when I get up to the top of the mountain. I'll wave at you. And you get in it and you fire it up and it goes vroom. And you hit the gas and you hear it, that big Hemi engine open up. The exhaust pipes breathe exhaust fumes in coming out the other end. And a 392 cubic inches of just pure engine comes out the other side. And you breathe it in. You take the top off and you drive that Jeep Wrangler Moab up the top of the hill and on through the top of the hill of extreme capable vehicle. So congratulations to Stellantis on that. Stellantis also had another vehicle for you pickup truck fans, and I know there's still a lot of you out there. A lot of you. The Ram 1500 Warlock Crew Cab 4x4 is a vehicle that you will not get out of your mind anytime soon. That vehicle will not be forgotten. The Warlock, you will know it when you see it. You'll know it when you hear it. I can't wait for Stellantis to put me in one and to do the tour of Cars and Coffee. And also, actually, you know what? I'd like to try to get him to give me one to drive along Route 66 this year. And I know that gas prices are crazy, but it's the 100th anniversary of Route 66. And even though it only gets 3.8 gallons to the mile or miles to the gallon, I want to drive it on Route 66. This is the kind of car that was built for Route 66. So come on, Stellantis, let's go. Let's get in the car and go for a ride. Let's get in the truck and go for a ride. The more sane vehicle that was actually judged to be the best value Northwest Outdoor Activity vehicle was the 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Woodland. The only thing about the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Woodland that, let's face it, sucks is if you can find one, if you can get one, most of the Toyota dealers are going to screw you. They're going to try to get as much out of you for the vehicle. There's going to be no bargains on this one. So the best value was that Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Woodland Edition. It's a great vehicle. It's a little Toyota in that it was almost if you took the Moab, you took the Wrangler Moab and you put it in a three-piece suit, you'd get the RAV4 Hybrid Woodland. That's kind of what it was. So those are the vehicles that won. Thanks a lot to Tom Volk, our president, Doug Berger from DB Picks, Tom also for putting his video stuff up for us, and the still photos that I'll put a gallery of them up sometime. How do I say this? I'm not going to be around much in the next week. I have some medical stuff that I have to get taken care of. So I may be run a little bit behind on some of this stuff, but I'll get it for you because after all, the best thing about, sitting in a hospital bed or, taking care of some of your medical problems is that you have the time to, or you think you have the time. We never really know for sure, but you have the time to plan things, to look at things, to edit video. I did this video last week that it wasn't really anything to do with cars. It was a stupid ass video of me flying around dressed up as Superman because I'm learning how to use AI. But you know what? For an hour or so, it took my mind off of the business at hand. And it was nice for that to happen. All right. Let me quickly get this into the system here. And again, I apologize. We've had a myriad of technical problems this morning. I know they're not I don't often say this, but I know that they're not my fault because I'm used the system I'm using is, I don't know if it's me or it's the system. I use the system without too much trouble during the week. So I can only assume that it's me, that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I apologize for being late. I apologize for running along with the show today. On top of it, it was supposed to be done at 1 o'clock. But I want to get this interview to you. And I want you to look at this this vehicle and listen to this woman and what she has to say about this new SUV that'll be coming to our area in 2027. I think it might be out the end of 2026. But we are the research with a petri dish for automotive, and I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see people take interest in the Northwest and take interest in the different places that people can get information about vehicles and what kind of vehicles they should be using, what kind of vehicles they should be building, and what kind of vehicles that we here in the Northwest look at and say, I really would like to have one of those parked in my driveway. I think that says a lot about us and how we are. I think it's something that says a lot about us and a lot about what we're able to accomplish for people and what we are able to have input into the type of vehicles that we see manufacturers build. Because believe you me, nobody goes to New York City and says, what kind of pickup truck should I build? But I've had people from Ram come here to the Pacific Northwest and ask me what kind of pickup truck should I build. What kind of SUV should I build? I've had people from different car companies ask me what works best up here because there's an interest in these vehicles. Now, maybe you'll see a little bit of less of that because of the financial system, situation that the country is in. They're watching their dimes. But let me tell you, a lot of information has been garnered from stuff that has gone on here in the Northwest, different events that people go to, and somebody walks over and they look at your car and they look under the hood, and there's two guys and they're sitting there, a woman and a guy, and they're pointing and saying, well, boy, they did that like that. That's a pretty good idea. And 2 or 3 years later, you see it like that under the hood of your Toyota that you just bought. So where did I see that? Where did I see that before? Where did I see that before? It's amazing. It really is. All right, listen. We cannot seem to get this interview for whatever reason. We can't seem to get this interview set up and running in our system. I'm going to have to find out what's going on, so I apologize for that. We will have to wait till next week to bring you our friend from Scout and be able to bring you this interview with one of the people that are making a difference these days. Sometimes that's the way it works. So I've done enough yapping. I've not done enough jabbering. I get a chance to. I'm lucky enough that I get a chance to talk to these people and bring you news and different things that hopefully make your car driving life a little better. I can't believe I've talked for an hour and change. I apologize. I apologize because today's show was supposed to be a little different, and with the technical difficulties that we encountered, we couldn't do it the way we wanted to do it. So we will get it straightened out. We will get Peyton back and get her and her interview on the air because this is an exciting young woman that is doing things in the automotive industry. And I want you to be able to hear what she has to say about designing vehicles. It's an important thing. You know, something that's always stuck with me for many, many, many years is back in 1995, or even before that, maybe 93, when I first moved up here and I first started getting the idea of mixing media and cars together to be able to drive them and give you an idea of what was going on behind the scenes and getting into cars and driving them. I remember I had a conversation with a guy named Bob Lutz. And many of you that are automotive people or know about cars know the name Bob Lutz. Used to be the president of General Motors. And we had this conversation about cars. This is when cars were still a thing, not trucks, but cars. And there was two things he told me in this conversation that I've never forgotten. One thing is develop the electric car because it is the future. It is what automotive will be in the second half of this century and far beyond that. The second thing was don't worry so much about the outside of your car. Make the interior of your car functional and a place that you want to spend time in. When people get mad at each other, where do they go? They get in their car, they slam the door shut, and they drive off. Electrics and interiors. Two things I've never forgotten from the mouth of Bob Lutz. So electrics, I think, if we were in a different political stance at the moment, we'd see a lot more electrics. If we still were a country that people believed that we could do things, I think we're in a country right now that people don't believe that we can do things. And that people put their own political interests ahead of what's good for this country. And if we could get past that, we'd have an electric car with a nice interior that you could drive anywhere. Load the family in and take them on vacation. But we don't. Because we don't believe in ourselves anymore. And somehow we got to get back to that thing where we believe in ourselves. Thank you so much for listening to Drive Time. This Saturday morning, actually early Saturday afternoon. I so appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with us. I always appreciate you spending time with us. It's always a blast to get together. Finally, we'll wrap it up with, yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? And one of the things that I'm driving this week is the Ioniq 5 XRT. It's all electric. It's all Hyundai. A very sharp, a very practical vehicle. And I wanted you to take a look at this because I think this is one of those vehicles that'll bring you, that we'll see and will give you and bring you a bunch of joy. This is from Mudfest, the week before this past week. And this vehicle, all electric, a vehicle that is one that I think that Hyundai has done an excellent job with. Of just going and taking you in a place where you can get off the road, get out into the mud, but you can also use it as an everyday vehicle. vehicle that hits all of the different marks that it has to, that it needs to. It really does it all. So we're looking at it from the interior. Ioniq 5. Rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, up to 320 horsepower, up to 380 miles. We have driven this vehicle in an XRT trim. It is a vehicle. It's also equipped with the NACS port, which allows you to charge at Tesla chargers. We're going to just eat this hill up in this particular film.
I know, don't get away.
Go through that.
Don't get away.
I don't want to splash them all. But you get a rear-wheel drive model, 225 horsepower, 318 miles of range, ultra-fast charging, kind of interesting lighting scheme that they use. I'm driving the XRT, which checks in at about $46,000. The Limited is a little less money, has a few less things in it, but the XRT model of this vehicle is a good, solid vehicle. Good, solid vehicle. And it really does tick all of the boxes that you need with this vehicle. And if you look at the different ratings on this vehicle, and you can buy one as low as $35,000, I suggest that you spend the extra 10 grand if you can do it. And even Consumer Reports, and I look at all of the different reports and reviews and so on and so forth. I look at them all the time, and really, it's a great vehicle. It's hard to find anybody who complains about their Ioniq 5. It's the best, probably, as many people will say to you, the best electric SUV out there. And I think for the money you get good value on this thing. So that's what I'm driving this week. I'm really glad that I get to spend some time in this. By the way, I never give these numbers out, and I just quickly I'm looking at getting in one of these for about $259 to $299 a month, with a down of about $4,000. I think a great price for this vehicle, and a price that I think you'll be excited. Now, there are some things that say that you can get one of these vehicles as cheaply as $189 a month. You probably want the all-wheel drive. You probably want some of the options that are on it. I don't think you want to go buy the cheapest one out there, unless you're looking for the cheapest transportation out there. If you're going to do Uber or something like that, maybe that's the where you go for the $189 a month. But if you want something a little bit better suspension, obviously better charging situation, something that works out for you, then I look at the more well-equipped vehicle. So keep that in mind. Go to the experts. Don't believe the hype. Find out what people are saying about the vehicle. And take a look into the Ioniq 5 because there are a lot of, according to many people, you're seeing a pretty good number of on leases. $199 a month for 24 months. You got to watch what you're going to pay down. The mid-range trims, if you can do those, are the way to go. Those are the vehicles you want to look at. All right? Okay, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get out of here and go to the beach for a few days, and then I'll catch up with you next. I'll catch up with you next Saturday morning, hopefully on time. Hopefully we will have our problems fixed by then, and we'll be able to deliver you a show where the clips work when you touch them. The video works when you try to get it to work. And the host's head doesn't have a million things swimming through it that isn't the best thing in the world for somebody's host of one of these shows to be doing. All right? I will see you probably Wednesday, if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, with Michael Knight. Until then, be good. Peace, love, Manischewitz. We'll see you Wednesday if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. You have a good weekend.